All right, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It's podcast number 12 of the DXB podcast from DirectXbox.com. And I am your host, Chanogram, Channing, whatever you'd like to call me. Joined by 4 people today. We got a pretty full crew. I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves.
Hey, it's MWJW, real name Michael.
Average gamer
guy. Carnal, aka Dom.
Hey, it's Bobby. Gamer tag is CabinTerror.
All right.
Always one.
Yeah, always one.
Thank you for putting my name Dom. I was confused.
So, only one we're missing today is Landshark. We actually have most of the people are the regulars here. Welcoming back Average, his triumphant return to the podcast.
Thank you.
You can, if you want to elaborate on what happened, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we can just summarize it with screw Time Warner.
Pretty much stay away from Time Warner if you can.
If you can. That's the key word. They have a stranglehold everywhere. So them and Comcast, and soon to be the same entity.
Yep. So. Oh God, let's hope that doesn't go through, man.
I don't see why it won't. I think they'll let it go, unfortunately. But hopefully it'll force some of the people like DSL to actually get their shit together and get some of their faster speeds to more places. So competition is good. But yeah, he's back for a week at least. Take advantage of it while he's here.
Yes, sir.
So not a ton of news this week, but there is some good news. Well, I guess some small amount of bigger news. Let's just leave it that way. That's good. Bad wording on my part. First, before we get into any of that, we'll go through what we're playing quickly this week. I'm going to go last, and I'll tell you why later. So we'll just jump in, and we'll go with, who was it? MW? What have you been playing?
Yep. Well, played a little Battlefield since the new update. Servers are pretty solid from what I see. And I mean, I was playing with you, with Chano, and with Bio, and I did pretty good on that. You guys, you did all right. But you were drinking heavily because of your birthday, so I'll give you a pass. And then played a little Titanfall. That game's fun as always. Servers seem to be pretty solid, so we had a lot of fun with that. We all did a lot better on that than on Battlefield. And then mostly been playing Dragon's Dogma, finished that game up. And then getting into the DLC, which is pretty freaking huge. So still a fun game. Pick it up, everybody.
All right.
That's about it.
See, before my internet went out, I managed to download Legend of Dragoon and Dino Crisis for 99 cents a piece on the PlayStation Store.
Nice.
Didn't really get a chance to play either one of them because I was throwing modems into walls and shit shortly after I downloaded them. But yeah, that was about it. Played those for a little bit. As soon as I got internet back, I went to Battlefield because I wanted to play Dragon's Teeth, and it's good. I'm enjoying it. Chain Link is a very good addition as far as game modes go. That's about it, though. For once, only 2 or 3 games.
Yeah. How did you drive your family nuts, by the way? Not being on your Xbox for a while.
Not a happy camper without any games.
Now, were you able to play any games, or did you just take advantage of the free time and was like, there's nature?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Got some sleep, which, you know, it's not usually something that I do.
Yeah.
So.
It's not something most gamers do. Sleep is for the weak.
Gaming in his dreams.
That's right.
All right.
Nope.
Carnal?
Honestly, I haven't really been playing much at all. I finished Guacamelee like last week, but I think that was before last week's podcast. That was a pretty good game, but other than that, I really haven't been touching games since I got this new computer. Let's see, what did I play on the PC? I played that new game Unturned or whatever. That's okay, but Other than that, I just been playing these little tiny games to test out my computer graphic capabilities.
So you bought a $1,500 indie station.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You could have
Pretty much
kept
so far.
your PS4 for that.
Nope.
Well, wait, you built a gaming PC to not play any games? Does that make
No, I
sense?
just haven't played any games.
He built a gaming PC, and he hasn't even played any like high-profile, graphically intensive games. Really, he's been playing smaller games.
There's nothing I really want to play that's out right now, though. It's graphically intense.
Well, you'll get into. I mean, MMOs are probably where you're gonna have the most fun with the gaming PC. Honestly, if
yeah,
you want
I'm thinking about getting into WildStar soon.
if you want a good one that you can pick up cheap, relatively cheap, with no monthly fee, get into Guild Wars 2. And I would actually play some with you if you played Guild Wars 2. It's you buy the game, but what's that? You miss it? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played the original a very long time ago, and it was a very good game.
Yeah, I think
You and
MW
me
played
both.
it. Yeah. Guild Wars
Heck
2.
yeah.
I never played the first one, but everyone I talked to in Guild Wars 2 who played both said that they fixed all of the problems that people complained about and made everything better. So, and there's no monthly fee, so even if you spend $20-$30 on it and you only play it for a month or two, it's not the end of the world. It's not like you feel obligated, like you have to keep playing to get your money's worth. So, but yeah, let me know if you do decide to pick it up or try it out, because I will definitely hop back on.
Okay, cool.
All right.
You could.
What's that?
Yeah. So, okay.
Go ahead.
What did I play last week? I got through Tomb Raider, the definitive edition. You know, it's a good game. It's still, solid. I ran into a couple technical issues, but not even sure if it was the game. Like, it crashed twice on me throughout the entire playthrough. So really, that isn't that bad. But I don't know what happened. But it's a good game as always. And then I just started getting into Need for Speed Rivals. And speaking of servers, those servers were not holding up. I continuously got disconnected in the middle of a race and to migrate to another host or whatever, and it got really annoying. And I just recently figured out how to switch it to single player mode, which I'm pretty sure you're still on a server. You're just not. There's just nobody else playing with you. So that's cool that they have that option, but EA servers need to kind of get it together.
Yeah.
But that's all I've been up to.
The funny part of you playing Need for Speed was the first day you got it, you were pretty impressed. Yeah, this game's pretty fun. It's nice. And the second day, we were in a party with you playing it, it's okay. There's a couple minor things. And the last time we played with you, or in a party with you while you were playing it, you were super pissed off and irritated at the game, at the pop-in and everything.
It would otherwise be a good game if it just wasn't played with like technical issues.
Yeah. Did anyone else play that game? Average or anyone?
No.
Yeah. All right.
No.
Well,
it's a good game on EA servers. That's like the best way to explain it. That's like the perfect way to explain it.
That explains every EA game. Good game. EA servers.
The saddest part is all the things he was complaining about are all the things that people were complaining about when that game launched. So apparently EA did their normal and just didn't bother fixing things. So, all right, is that it, everyone? Or am I missing someone? Yeah, that's everyone.
That's everybody.
Except for you?
Yeah, except for me. So, before I get into mine, let's go through what's new this week quick. Some of the stuff, because it's going to kind of tie into something that's new this week for most of us.
Delay.
So a few games that are out this week. Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, New and Tasty is out for the Vita, PS3, and PS4, I think. I think it's for all three. Could be wrong on that. Maybe it's not the Vita, but I know it's PS3 and PS4. The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 4, I believe, comes out this week, which I'm sure Average is looking forward to.
Yep.
I don't know if any of the rest of us play it. And then the biggest game that comes out, I don't want to say it comes out, but it's available to the rest of us, is Destiny Beta. PS4 demo or beta started on, was it Thursday last week? Wednesday, Thursday? I can't remember what it was.
Come on, man. I wrote a thread about this.
I don't memorize everything. Started sometime at the end of last week for PS4 and PS3. It's offline for now. for another day and a half here, and then on the 23rd it kicks back up and is available on all 4 platforms, including X1. So I'm not going to talk too much about my experiences with the PS4 version because I don't want to have the same exact conversation next week. But I'll give you my initial impressions on the PS4. And I never played it on the other system. I just saw the Xbox One gameplay for the first time today, which we'll talk about in a little bit. On the PS4, it runs fine. It plays fine. I hadn't run into any weird glitches or anything like that. It's a very smooth game. It's a pretty game. And my way to describe it, and I don't know why, but this is the only thing I remember from the night of was it the 14th? Or the 18th? My birthday. God. Yes, I know my birthday. The 18th, Friday night, when I was drinking heavily and playing with a bunch of you.
I'm amazed you remember most of that night.
Yeah, I remember most of it. I was drinking very good scotch all night, and a lot of it. I described it as if Mass Effect and Halo had a baby, and it was raised by Borderlands, that's what Destiny is so far. And granted, it was only up to level 8 cap. There's not a ton of worlds, so it could change drastically, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I love all 3 of those games. If you like all 3 of those games, or even if you just like 2 of the 3, you're probably going to enjoy Destiny to some degree. If you hate all 3 of those games, I would stay away from it. I don't know anyone who hates all 3 of those games, but if you're one of those people out there, don't buy Destiny. Yeah, that too. You're not going to enjoy the game. But if you do like those, you definitely will at least get some enjoyment out of it. It would have been nice to have some friends to play with. If Mortimus would have been, around and Dom hadn't pitched out and sold his PS4. So I had played by myself. And I have 3 PlayStation friends. So if anyone has PlayStation ID, feel free to add me. It's Chanogram. PSN, so you can be my 4th plus friends. So I don't have many. I started a whole new account. I think I brought that up last week. So just kind of filling in. I didn't really have any friends to begin with on there because I never play multiplayer on the PlayStation Network. So
enjoy being lonely on PlayStation.
Yeah, but I don't plan on playing a lot of multiplayer games on the PlayStation, so I should be okay for the most part. But
yeah.
So with the X1 beta coming out, I think we're all going to be playing it. So look for us online. Join us. We'll be bouncing between parties and stuff, I'm sure, to get to play with everyone. Also, if you get extra codes, feel free to send them to MWJW or myself. We're going to kind of create a pool in the background of the site that we can give out to people who need codes. For whatever system, we're going to try and have some codes for whatever system you need. We'll have the most, obviously, for Xbox One probably on our forum. So if you didn't pre-order it and don't want to pre-order it, but you still want to try and download it, there's a thread out there. Go ahead and ask, and either MW or myself will try and get you one.
I have 3, so
yeah,
for PlayStation 4.
Okay, yeah, for PS4. I'll have no extras because mine are already claimed, but there's already people who are going to give us their extras. They've already said they will, so we will have quite a few to give away. So they're not going to be in short supply, but I want to make it really easy for people on the forum to get it if they need one. I don't want to have them have to go beg or ask around. So to finish up the Destiny beta, do you guys have any questions on the beta, by the way, for someone who's actually played it? I know you guys get to play it in a few days here, but this is your chance.
I think I got most of the questions last.
Well, it's not exactly a small game, and there's a little bit of news on it on the internet, so you've probably already heard or read all the answers.
My only question is there anything new compared to the alpha? Because it seems like it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, they said instead of 1 storyline mission, there were 4. Different multiplayer map, a different whatever they call the strike missions, the co-op maps. Yeah. So they expanded it a little bit, but not anything in terms of actual content. Like, you're still only able to go to level 8 in most of the areas you were able to go before. You're still going to go. It's in Russia, U.S., or
Old Russia.
Russia on Earth, same place, yeah. And really from what I saw, The gameplay was smooth enough, but I mean, it is 1080p, 60 FPS, but there's nothing new to it. Not
30.
really.
30.
Oh,
30.
I'm sorry. My bad. Average is right.
How
30
dare you?
What'd you say?
It's 30 frames per second.
Oh,
not
yep,
60.
yep. Yeah, as with I
Not
think
that it matters,
I think every Bungie game ever has been a 30 FPS game, going all the way back to the Xbox Halo. So that's just what they do. So tying into that, not that we spend a whole lot of time on resolution and bullshit like that on this podcast, but it is worth noting because there's a lot of stupid claims and dumb shit going around the internet right now. The Destiny Xbox One game will be 1080p on launch. They had one of the lead, was he graphics engineer, whatever they called him. IGN had a first ever Xbox One 1080p gameplay with an interview at the same time with one of the bigwigs in the graphics department of Bungie, and he said flat out, without leaving any room for wiggle. So if they missed this mark, someone dropped the ball big time. So it's going to be 1080p. The problem is the beta was, a slice from a while back. They had to finalize it, so it's not going to be in 1080p in the beta. I think they said 900p is the beta, but it will be in 1080p for those of you that were concerned. They did say the parity will be there.
Nope.
And that doesn't mean negative parity. I'm sick of reading that. That doesn't mean they nerfed the PS4 version and brought it down to the Xbox One version. It means that, and they said it in the interview, they had a team of Microsoft engineers come out to Bungie and help them optimize. That's how they got it to 1080p with the GPU reservation as well. So basically Microsoft came out and taught them how to code for their platform. So I don't know.
That's so sad.
Well, it's not necessarily sad. It's just they didn't have time. They're trying to build a massive game.
and it's evolving.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with all the new SDKs and everything, I'm sure they welcome the help, and I'm sure they would have helped or welcome help from Sony. And who knows, maybe Sony's over there as well, trying to help them optimize. I don't know. So.
Yeah, they just didn't probably say, but I'm sure they were over there helping them too.
Yep.
I mean, these are brand new platforms, and you're making a huge world and a huge game. You might need a little bit of help.
Yep. Well, us, we don't necessarily care about resolution, but there are a lot of people who pay attention to it. Whether they should or shouldn't is a whole discussion for another day. But people do pay attention, and it was in Microsoft's best interest to try and help them get it to that. But if I read one more freaking comment about how they nerfed the PS4 version, I'm going to punch something, because that's not what they did. So they said a long time ago.
These people are going to bitch.
Well, if that was the case, they would have lowered the resolution on the PS4 version, and they've said for a long time that it was going to be 1080p on PS4, and they were shooting for 1080p on Xbox One, but were having, problems, some problems and some roadblocks there. Now they got those roadblocks out of the way, we're good to go. So, I know Average is probably muted now because he doesn't like to talk about resolution. So we'll move on to the next topic.
He's got enough issues going on lately.
So
yeah, I don't pay attention to it. It is what it is, man. Whatever. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I will say, as much as none of us love IGN, I think that's pretty a running theme here. I like it more than other people do, but even I don't love it. They're first at IGN or whatever the hell they're calling it, where they do monthly games and do a lot of showcasing stuff. They do a really good job. So if you're going to go there and watch anything, or follow Ryan McCaffrey on Twitter, because he's the one who runs that side of it. Their first one they did Forza Horizon 2. It had a lot of really good videos and information and interviews. And then the second one they're doing is Destiny, and they're the ones who got to show the first ever Xbox One. Even if it wasn't in 1080p, it's the first time we've ever seen Xbox One running Destiny. So it's confirmed that it exists. We actually have proof. So if for nothing else, go take a look at it, because it's running on Xbox One. Why not? So a little bit of an expansion on my last week's talk about PS4. And feel free to jump in if you guys have any questions or comments. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, because I want to get on to the rest of the stuff here. But I said I was going to hold my judgment back for a week on the PS4, because I'd only played it for, I think, like 2.5 days at the time of last podcast, if that.
Yeah.
The UI, it hasn't really grown on me, but I've at least gotten used to it. I don't feel frustrated anymore. I still don't necessarily like the way it's set up. But it's manageable now that I know where to go to find stuff and all that jazz. So the PSN store is still a piece of shit to me. I don't think either of them got it right. I don't think the Xbox One store is perfect by any means, and I don't think the PSN store is anywhere near perfect either. So they both have some work to do in that regard, but the interface is fine now. It's just I'm indifferent towards it. It gets the job done, I guess. Confession time. I spent $50 on Warframe, our free-to-play game. So there's that. I really like that game. I've tried to play all the other games, and I keep going. I tried playing Killzone. I got about 3/4 of the way, went back to Warframe. I bought Infamous. I play for 20 minutes at a time. I go back to Warframe. What else was I playing? Even the Destiny beta. I'll play Destiny beta for a little bit, and I'll go back to Warframe. I don't know why, but I think it's the blend of melee and shooting and everything that just keeps me interested. So, if you have a PS4 or a PC and you want to try it, I highly recommend it. I didn't have to put any money in. I just felt like speeding things up for a little bit for a couple weapons that I was impatient to get. And because I was enjoying it that much, $50 really isn't that much to put into a game that I'm playing this much. So now if I start putting $50 in every week, you guys please set up an intervention. So.
Yep.
Already
Working
on
on
it.
it.
Infamous, I've been playing. I've been trying to play, I should say. MW, and people have been in parties with me when I'm playing that game, and for the life of me, I cannot get into that game yet. I'm still going back and playing it bits and pieces here and there. It looks good. Particle effects, everything you've read, it's a great looking game. I didn't love the first 2 games, so that's not helping matters. But I'm going to keep trying. I seem to get a little better and a little more involved with it right towards the end, but then Warframe was calling my name, so I had to go back to Warframe. I almost bought NAC yesterday for the kids, but I held off. See if I can get that one for under $20, I'll probably do it used, but until then, probably not. Titanfall, no Battlefield for me. I've been playing a lot of Titanfall and drinking while playing Titanfall. So I had a week off, by the way, of work, which is why I've been having fun nights of drinking and playing with overseas people at 4 in the morning. So other than that, I think that's about all I've played. I played a lot, all the PS4 stuff. So more Towerfall, Bio, and I have been playing a bunch of that. So, do you guys have any questions about PS4? I know some of them were answered by Dom and Mortimus before, or any about those games that I've been playing. Since I don't think any of you guys have really played them, other than Dom.
Does it have like a party system? Like you can get like a group of guys together and like move from game to game or whatever?
It doesn't move from game to game or anything like that, but there is a party system, so you can hop in and talk to people across game and stuff like that. It's not, it doesn't. It's not like if the party leader, I think, picks a game, it doesn't necessarily tell you that they're switching games or anything like that. Like, hey, let's go play this game. But you can see what game they're playing in your party and join them through there. But yeah, it functions very similarly to the Xbox One party system now. So.
Cool.
Anything else? All right, moving on. None of us have PS4 except for me anyway.
So,
what?
When you gonna
Loser.
actually? So, how about this? What's the next game you might be excited for on the PlayStation 4?
I don't know. My calendar doesn't go out that far.
Fair enough.
A year?
I have
The
no
calendar
idea.
doesn't go up a year?
I don't think I have a 2015 calendar handy. Well, I take that back. Last of Us in August is probably the next game I'll buy on it. And beyond that, I have no clue because there's not a single game other than that coming out that I am interested on. That's a PS4
Last of Us-
exclusive. So.
Last of Us is fucking amazing since I know you haven't played it yet.
Yep. No, that's why I'm getting it. I just didn't get it on PS3 at the time, so that one I've been looking forward to. Otherwise, no, there's nothing I'm planning on buying until next year. I'm not getting Drive Club. Well, I take that back. I might get Little Big Planet but that's only if the kid wants to chip in some of his allowance to do it, because I sure as hell don't want to play that game. So, but let's see.
But you can play with Sackboy.
No thanks.
He's so cute.
I got my own
And-
Sackboy to play with.
And
Thank you.
Fat Sack and Flying Sack and
Yeah, I don't know.
whatever that other one is.
After watching the really
I don't know
horrible
what they
stage
call
demo, I just,
Oh God, that was.
if you weren't sure.
I'm like, get off stage, get off the stage, get off the
But
stage.
there's a bird now.
No one cares. Get off the stage.
All right, so let's move on to something everyone else cares about more. We already talked about give us your Destiny beta codes. Here's something that I think all of us are in the preview, and I think most of the people in the forum are in there, except for Landshark, who refuses to join it, I think. The August update for the Xbox One operating system is it live now or the next day or two? I think it's sometime early this week. I know it's supposed to roll it out.
I've been checking. I haven't gotten a system update thing for it, so.
Okay, well, sometime in the next few days it's supposed to go live. So just keep checking that, or I think it's 14.08 is this one, if I remember correctly. So you can check your operating system, and if it says 14.08 in there, you have the new one. It should be relatively obvious this time because it does have some
Oh yeah.
some features. So someone else can talk for a little bit. I've been talking for a while. Someone who knows the feature list, go ahead. MW, cabin, average, anyone?
Alright.
So,
Go ahead, Kevin. It's all you, man.
I was gonna say I don't know if I know all of them. 3D Blu-ray support. They're gonna have a new tab on the home screen. There'll be a friends activity tab instead of having to go into your friends app. They're gonna have a notification for the low battery, which I'm excited for. Some people might be excited for that.
Oh yeah.
And another exciting thing is mobile purchases. So you can buy something from the Smart Glass app, or I think can you purchase something online too, like from Xbox.com?
Yep, I think you could do it from, I correct me if I'm wrong, but you can do it from PC, your Smart Glass app, pretty much anywhere you have access, I think, to Xbox, either Smart Glass or Xbox.com, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it automatically downloads.
They didn't say. Oh, it does?
Yeah,
It'll turn your system on before you download it, turn it right back off.
Yep, I should say.
So when you get home, updates are there and it's installed.
Yep, you've actually always been able to buy games on Xbox.com. Like I bought Child of Light when I was at work on Xbox.com, but it never pushed it to your system. You'd have to have someone go initiate the download. Now I believe it gives you the option. I don't know if it's going to be a setting on the console or a setting at the time of purchase or how it works, but you can somehow tell your system to, if it's in standby, of course, to turn on and download the game, or download it in standby, turn on your hard drive or whatever. So, but yeah, that's coming. That's a big one for a lot of people. People like me who want even their smaller games not to have to wait for.
And of course it'll work for DLC too, because I've done some of the little Rise weapons or whatever you get for pre-ordering, and I put it on Xbox.com, and then I have to go into the system and download what I already had, and it was annoying.
Yep.
Not anymore. Yay.
They're also adding you can disable notifications during video. So say you want to leave your notifications on, but you want it off just like when you're watching a movie or something. You can have an option to do that. One guide is coming to Brazil, Mexico, Austria, and Ireland. And they also have a last scene time and friends list.
Oh,
so
nice.
I guess it says last. Yeah, so it'll say Chanogram, last seen 20 minutes ago. So in case you want to stalk people.
Yeah, I think the only other way.
Yeah, they're gonna bring that back.
Yeah.
I didn't read that. That's awesome.
You could already
I love stalking friends.
You could already kind of do it if you went into their profile and went to their recent activity. It would say watch TV 3 days ago or something like that. But now if it says right next to their name, if they're offline, that'll be nice. Just so we can see if average has been on, in the last week or not.
Yeah, that's it.
See if he
Average gamer guy, last seen over 5 days ago. Please call the cops.
Yeah.
Something may have happened.
Worse if he's not online.
Something's wrong here.
Well, yeah, he's one of the people who, if you sign on and average isn't at least online watching TV on his profile, something's not right. Or he's doing a system update, or he's died. So.
Wow, way to get extreme. That escalated.
I would say less about died. I would say more like someone stole his Xbox. Call the cops.
Right. Something's wrong.
All right.
Yep.
Fine, I went morbid.
Something's definitely wrong.
Great. Everyone's gonna log on now, not see
Hey.
average out. Like, oh my God, he's dead.
My point is, he's on the line so often that when I don't see him on, I wonder if something's wrong. It's not a bad thing. Like, I think I even mentioned it to MW. I'm like, his internet's not working or something happened. I think I even talked to Average about it a couple days ago. I'm like, I honestly was wondering if like something happened that was keeping you from being online, other than the internet. So I'm glad that wasn't anything like that. So I'm a dark person when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I just jump to the worst possible scenario and go from there. That way, I can only be pleasantly surprised and not disappointed.
That's a good way of thinking.
I guess.
Really?
Hey.
It's like your child comes home like 2 minutes late from school. Is he? Oh my God, is he gone?
Yeah, there's a difference between not coming home for 2 days and then just not being around for 5 days.
Yeah.
Now, if my kid was missing for 5 days, I think I'd treat it a little more seriously than average, not being online for 5 days. So.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. It's about the same kind of. That's not right.
Yeah, something's not right in the universe. Trust me.
That's it.
That's
it.
Yeah. So as far as your list, I think you got everything. I think the only thing that you did
Nope.
mention
Go ahead.
was you can now officially like things in the activity feed. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's actually
And comment. Yeah, there's like
You
you can share game clips and stuff. You can put game clips and messages and share them.
Mhm.
It's just gonna be different. It's just gonna be a whole nother thing now.
Yeah, they're making it
Word.
Facebook-y.
Yeah.
For games, which
Okay.
is fine.
God.
So.
Speaking of clips, I know this is kind of off topic. Did anyone see that new Xbox trailer
Yeah, I did.
with the Rocky
yeah.
quote? It's kind of cool.
The Rocky quote.
Oh, yeah.
I was
It
like,
was-
yeah,
it was very
can't
serious.
wait.
Very serious.
And then you have the comments.
Yeah, but it's
What's the purpose of this? It's called a marketing video. Like,
Yeah.
What's the purpose of any marketing video? Go back
it's
to
called
your,
that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, go back to your cave patrol.
It's just funnier when Chano says it for some reason. Like you hear it said 1,000 times and then Chano says it and you're like, Yep.
The trolls were
Yep.
out for us. So you should go read the YouTube comments of the IGN YouTube channel where they showed the Destiny footage on Xbox One.
oh boy.
Oh god, the comments were just awful. Like I read like 2 pages and I was getting more and more furious but couldn't stop reading. Finally, something came up and I had to stop reading, so it saved me from it. But god, it's so stupid. But it's YouTube.
Yeah, and there's nothing to take the anger out on because it's just pure stupidity.
YouTube is one of the worst places in the world. There's only one place worse than the YouTube comments, and that's the Yahoo comments. So.
Yahoo!
Anything else on the updates? I think we got everything.
I think that's it.
They're going to add contextual feedback. In other words, a slight vibration every time you hit the center console button. So you kind of realize that you're not just grazing over it by accident. So when you accidentally switch over to something else, then you'll like, oh, my controller vibrated. I kind of felt that.
Yeah, it was for people that like when you get like a party invite or something, people like held their button in too long or they didn't know how long to hold it.
Oh god, bio.
And it's like it'll give you it'll give you feedback, to let go, and it's like it registered, so you don't like shut off your controller.
If you've ever been
If
you've ever been in a party playing Titanfall or something or Battlefield when Bio's at my house, you'll hear me yelling and swearing at him because he can't hit the button correctly. Like I send him an invite and he'll either bring up his turn off screen or he won't hold it long enough, and it's like every single time I've mastered it, and he like the first time he did it was like 2 weekends ago. Without having to go and do his notifications to get it. So it was like a celebration. So yeah, it's I don't know. So I wish they would make that a little more not have to time it perfectly.
Stab him.
No.
Driving me crazy, stab.
What else? The NPD leaked numbers came out. Not I guess there's a little bit of a discussion point on here. The numbers, and are these proven to be correct? Do we know? I know they were leaked, but are people just taking them as fact at this point?
Now, Now, I don't know where the official leak came from, but the place that I traced it back to was Throwaway.
Okay.
That's as far as I could go back. I don't know where he got them from. I don't know what the original source was. No one's came out and said these are wrong. NPD hasn't commented. No one said anything.
All right.
We don't know.
Well,
But these are as close as, and it's what everybody's running with, so until we hear otherwise, these are correct.
all right. Well, let's just, for hypothetical purposes, go with them. And we normally don't get numbers, by the way. Normally, we've just been getting, hey, it's doing well, or we outsold them 2-1, or whatever it happens to be. You know, they haven't really been giving us a lot of numbers lately. So, according to
Well,
this,
I mean, NPD never leaks
That's-
numbers because that's their business. That's their product.
Well, I know,
It's like giving out free.
what I'm saying is
know.
the console manufacturers haven't been forthcoming either. And usually they are to a certain degree. And lately, the last probably 4 or 5 months, they've been very tight-lipped, both of them, about the actual number of units that they're selling each month. So they've been
Sure.
giving bigger numbers, like, hey, year to date we've done this, you know, sold through or sold to whatever. You know, they get those numbers, but they haven't been giving like straight up, hey, we sold, you know, this many thousand units this month. They're not doing that. So.
Right.
The numbers themselves are this was for June. 267,000 for PS4. That's 267. 197,000 for the Xbox One, and 140,000 for the Wii U. For a total, I think of next gen console, I think they're looking at all the consoles combined, like 700,000 units, give or take. This is including the last gen consoles as well. But PS4 still outsold the X1 according to this. But the X1 jumped up by nearly double, if these are accurate, according to the NPD leak. And that's with, give or take, 2/3 of a month at the lower price without the Kinect. So we'll never know if it was the Kinect that boosted them necessarily, because I don't think they've given numbers on which unit has been selling more or less between the Kinect with or without, as far as I've seen anyway. But it could be that. It could also be a combination of the E3 hype, because E3 was a pretty good E3, I think, as far as games go. So that could have pushed a lot of people over the edge of, all right, fine, I'm getting one, you know, a new console. So.
All right, Master Chief Collection's coming. I get it. I'll get the console. I understand.
Yeah. So I'll be curious to see what happens. You know, if we get numbers again in August for July, to see if it, you know, it's keeping up, or if it's like a one-time boost. I'm sure Microsoft is hoping it's not a one-time boost in sales, because then it kind of defeats the purpose of removing Kinect. So if it continues to sell, then it was probably a good business decision on their part. But we'll find out as the year goes on. Not too much until we have more confirmation on units and stuff like that. There's really not much to talk about. It's just kind of a news piece for the NPD. Or
Well, I
treated
mean,
as news, I guess.
Microsoft. Yeah, I mean, Microsoft came out and said, "Hey, we did more than double our numbers from last month," and they're right. The numbers look pretty darn good. Sure, not as much as PlayStation, and that's fine. I mean, but it shows an uptick in the interest for the Xbox One, and that's what you want. You want more people interested, and maybe next month they'll be tied, and who knows?
Yep. What people will never understand is that there's different levels of success. The PS4 is ridiculously successful to date. No one's arguing that. It's selling really well. It's exceeding what Sony probably ever guessed it would do. It's doing great. That does not mean that the Xbox One is doing poor. It just means it's not doing as good as the PS4. So I hate, just because, there's another social media platform that's not Twitter or Facebook, it doesn't mean that that's still not being successful. It just means it's not a mega success like Twitter and Facebook are. Maybe it's a poor example,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean.
Xbox is not MySpace. Just get over it, okay?
Yeah. No, I just saying there's different levels of success. They can both be successful. It's just one is right now at least a little more successful, and more power to them. Congratulations. So I don't know.
Yeah, people got to understand when Microsoft makes and looks at their numbers, they're competing with themselves. Same thing with PlayStation. They're competing with their last gen numbers.
For
Both
now.
systems are outselling each other. Well, Sure, but you've got to. They look at previous pictures because they're more worried about the number of units they sell. Is it selling through all the units they shipped out? If it is, fantastic. That's exactly what they want. They're not as extremely worried as the rest of the gamers are how much you're selling versus. They're more really competing with, hey, did we sell out all of our units that we had in this region, and do we have to restock? I mean, they're happy with what they have. I don't see why everybody else isn't happy with what they have, and people need to bitch less and be happy with what they got. A little less console envy, maybe.
It's not even console envy. It's just a matter of people having to, what the hell's the word? I can never think of this word when I need it, but when I don't need it, it's right there every time. Validate their purchases, basically. What the hell is the word? There's actually a term for it. I can't remember what the hell it is. But yeah, people just want to validate, get validation from the masses that they made a good decision. And the answer is, there is no bad decision. If you like the games on whatever console you're getting, you made the right decision. That's all there is to it. If you're not happy with the games on your current platform, you probably didn't make the right decision. Maybe the right decision for you was not even to buy a next-gen console yet. Whatever it is.
As long as it doesn't catch fire and burn your house down, it was probably going to be a fun investment.
And I'm just saying, if you bought a Vita, it was probably a bad investment, but that's not the point here.
That reminds me. Remote play. And this is something I think Average would like. Correct me if I'm wrong, Average. Do you have a Vita, Average? I can't remember.
No, I sold it.
Okay. If they do come out with a bundle, which it sounds like they're going to, and you do end up getting a PS4, the remote play is pretty neat. It works a lot better than I anticipated it would. I've only tried it on my network. I know you can actually do it anywhere you have an internet connection, I believe, right? I think so. I'd have to try that.
I used it. I used it with the PS3.
Okay, and I don't know if it's any better or worse.
I thought you had to be in your home network.
No, I don't think so.
Like, you can't.
Yeah, you do.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you do.
Because it said
yeah.
It didn't say I needed to
No.
when I was there.
Sure.
It said just make sure
Well,
you have
take that sucker with you to McDonald's and test that out, and you'll find out.
When I did it, it just says make sure you have
They
an internet
may have-
connection. I could be. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
Yeah,
You
they
might
may
be
have.
right.
They may have updated it since the last time I did it, but when I did it before, you had to be on the same network.
Okay, that still could be the case.
Yeah,
Because
that's the last I read too.
Depending on which Vita you have, if you only have the Wi-Fi Vita, you don't have a 3G network to go anywhere. So you have to be on the same network as your PS.
No, I just meant if you had an internet connection. So like if I was at work, not that I'd be playing a Vita at work necessarily, but if I was on Wi-Fi at work,
right.
Could I play my PS4 as long as it was on at home?
No.
I thought you could, but
No,
maybe that's
it
not the
wouldn't.
case.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like
I said, they may have updated it since I used it, but I had to be on the same network because it would say looking for PS3s on this network before it connected.
Right, like I said, take that sucker and go find out.
I will.
Take a McDonald's with you. Let your kid play in a play place.
You guys are probably right. I haven't tried it, but the wording made it sound like maybe that wasn't the case. So, but then again, wording isn't exactly Sony's strong suit. So, or wording it to give the right, image or right message is not their strong suit. They're great at wording things, just not for us.
Not to tell the truth.
Yes,
right.
exactly. Yeah, but the remote play does work. Just to confirm it, I was upstairs playing and it was fine. I even tried using it as a controller just on my main TV, and there's damn near zero lag time. Like I was actually playing, I think it was Killzone. I was trying it out, and you can almost use the Vita controller as your main controller while watching it on TV. It's not perfect. There is still a little bit of lag.
You got to remember, Killzone's kind of a laggy, slow input game anyway. Like it's not snappy. Try it on your Warframe next, and
I don't know if
because that seems to be a bit more of a.
I don't have to try it.
Not every. It does. I'm just saying. It's like a snappy, quicker moving game, and you kind of need that precise timing to pull off some of those things I was watching you do. So, I'd say give it a try on there. Get you a real good feel for it.
Yeah, maybe that's how I end up finally playing like Infamous and Killzone, is actually laying in my bed before I go to sleep. Since I can't seem to sit on my couch and play it because there's other things that draw my attention. So, I got sidetracked on that. anything else on the NPD numbers? No.
I'm surprised the Wii U's doing so well. I mean, I'm glad for them, but
I'm
dang,
not.
I didn't think Mario Kart had that kind of pull. But
It's
apparently, I
not
was
just
wrong.
Mario Kart though. It's not just Mario Kart. There, E3 was good enough to get people to go out and buy some
Yeah.
consoles. You have a new Zelda. You have new IPs. You have it's enough. And Mario
Ah.
Kart itself is evil. Luigi is doing wonders for them. You know?
Yeah, that. I mean, they never saw that coming.
Luigi!
But they ran with that, man. They love just random weird things that set them off. They'll take that and they'll run with it. So that's always cool.
So I'll be getting my Wii U back before I get a PS4. I know that.
There you go.
So
Was it last week we talked about the Vita being sold out?
No, we didn't ever talk about it.
All right. So speaking of the MPD numbers, Sony came out with something saying that their Vita is selling very well and they're very happy with their sales in North America, and they were literally sold out. You couldn't find one. If those numbers are correct, what'd they do? Burn all the Vitas?
No.
I mean, literally, they must have started a fire with them, because 15,000 units in a month is... The Wii outsold it. That's terrible.
I have a theory on that. So, I think they requested them back, which they can do, because technically they don't get.
Sure.
You know, they can ship them back if they're not selling, or the manufacturer can request any, a certain percentage of units back. That's how retail works, or can work. I have a feeling they're repurposing or
Especially
repackaging
if
those
they're
Vitas in a bundle. I think very shortly, maybe just after Destiny launches, when they can sell as many of the Destiny units as they want, or can.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see an announcement that there's going to be a PS Vita, PS4 bundle coming out just in time for the big rush of games. And it's smart on their part.
But those units that are already out are outdated.
Not
They're
necessarily.
not the new model of Vitas.
Doesn't matter.
No. They are. They're trashed.
No,
They're
not all of them.
They're completely removing the screen. You can't just
The actual
slap a sticker on the thing and call it the Vita 2.0.
the new
or whatever
screen
the heck
is
this
technically
thing is.
worse than the original screen. So
Oh
if
yeah,
anything,
it's
you want
absolutely
the original.
atrocious.
And they're not outdated. It's just different hardware. There's different levels, and maybe they're using all their existing ones to put them into a bundle. They can probably do it cheaper.
Right.
Because
It's what they,
no one's
it's
gonna
what they
buy
did
them
with the PSP 1000, 2000, 3000s.
it's either that or
But
discount
I
them.
mean,
And why would you want to discount them if you can bundle them and sell them? Sell the PS4 for
yeah.
$550 or $500 or whatever they want to do with it. I don't know what they're going to sell it for. That's just my speculation. I could be wrong, and I know they're planning on doing a bundle, but that's just my guess of where all the Vitas are going, and it makes sense to me. So.
Oh sure. If anyone ever caught that though, that they're putting the old Vitas into these new bundles, yet they're selling this new Vita as, it's better because of the 2 hours of extra battery life and worse screen, it kind of sends a mixed message, doesn't it?
No, they're going to
Why
sell them
did you make
anyway.
this
What are they going to do? Request them back and trash them? They're going to sell regardless,
Yeah.
so why not package them? As long as they're honest about what version is in the box, there's nothing wrong.
Right.
Now, if they hide it and try to market it incorrectly, then yeah, there's something wrong with it. But as long as they say, when you flip the box over and it says, hey, you're getting this Vita version, it's Vita hardware version, whatever. There's nothing illegal or malicious about it. It's just a matter of trying to move your inventory.
Not malicious. It just seems right.
I don't fault them for it.
Fair
I think
enough.
it's intelligent for them because, like I said, no one wants to buy them standalone. But if you can save yourself $100 on the package
Not at
of them
fucking
and still get
15K, they're not.
Huh? 15K. Oh, no, that's what I.
They only sold 15,000 units.
Yeah, no one's gonna buy the old version unless they heavily discount it anyway. So why not heavily discount it and put it in a bundle? So,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about PS4 anymore or Vita. So, real quick, I don't know, this was never confirmed or denied, I don't think, at this point, but Max Payne 3,
No.
possibly being ported to next gen. I know sparked a little bit of back and forth on our forum, as well as everywhere else on the internet. I personally think it's great. It doesn't bother me in the slightest, because they're not talking about remastering it. You know, there's a difference between a remaster and a port. What they're doing with Last of Us takes a lot more manpower and resources than what a port would do. A simple port with upgraded graphics, and when I say upgraded graphics, I just mean using the extra power to boost the, some of the effects, kind of like you would do on a PC. If you started playing the same game on a new PC, you can kind of slide the effects up, That's different than completely remastering things and changing, texture resolutions and stuff like that. That's very different. So they can port a game very quickly with a small team. So if that's what they're doing, I'm all for it, because it didn't sell that great because it came out in a shitstorm of other games. I can't remember, was it 2 years ago when Max Payne 3 came out? I want to say 2 years. 2 years as of this holiday, so 2 holidays ago. That sound right?
I don't know. I didn't play it.
It seems like it was longer than that, but I don't know. I can't really remember.
Well, point is, it didn't sell very well, and it wasn't because it was a bad game that got bad reviews. It came out at a time when there was a lot of games out, and just kind of got overlooked unless you were a diehard Max Payne fan. So as long as they don't come out and try to sell it at $60, unless they're putting some serious extra stuff into it, which I just don't think they do. Say they come out and sell it at $35, $40, somewhere in that neighborhood. If you haven't played it, it's a great game. There's nothing wrong with doing this. What?
Sorry. May 15th, 2012.
Okay, I'd have to look at a release date calendar to see what else came out around that time, but
Fair enough.
yeah, I vaguely remember it coming out and being like, no, I have too much other stuff to play. I can't remember what it was, but there was other stuff that was going on. I ended up buying it for like $15 on Newegg on sale, and I loved it. I thought it was one of the more overlooked gems of last gen. It was a great game. It may not have been the best Max Payne game, but as far as taking it just as a game, it was really good. I know Cabin liked it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a good game.
I mean, IGN gave it a 9, Polygon gave it a 9, Game Informer gave it a 9.5, GameSpot gave it a 9, Edge, which is always pretty harsh, 7 out of 10, Eurogamer, 7 out of 10. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, it got pretty good reviews, I mean, in all honesty. So, yep. I don't know why a lot of people didn't pick it up. I'd have to look at a calendar and see what came out, too. So.
Yep. I do get the other people's other side's opinion. I understand it, that they want people to focus on the new games. But if, say they have a team of 5 people doing this port, which isn't unreasonable, if the tools are there to port it and upgrade the graphics a little bit, boost the resolution, boost the frame rate, that kind of stuff, just easy stuff, it doesn't take a big team. So maybe they have 5 people doing that while the rest of the team is in early development of Max Payne 4 or whatever the hell their next game is going to be. There's only so many people who can work on development stuff. Whatever it happens to be. Could be, yeah.
I don't mind them doing that necessarily, but I like the way Microsoft's doing it better. Because they're giving you 5 games.
That's a huge team doing that, though. Keep that in mind.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's very different. That's what I'm talking about. That's a big overhaul of the whole thing. Even the other games, like getting... Well, Halo 2 is taking the most time, but, the only port is 4, basically, and 3 they had to do some tweaks to.
Well,
to me, I can't see paying $50 for a game I just paid $60 for.
But it's not. They're not marketing it to you.
Less than a year ago.
That's my thing. Is people who've already played it, they're not marketing that game to you. They're just like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. They aren't marketing Tomb Raider Definitive Edition to me, who's already played it. I happened to buy it, but I wasn't their target market. So I mean.
But here's what I don't understand. They say they're making it for the fans, right? The fans that haven't had the PS3, and that's great. Then why not give a discount to those that already own it, that want to own it again and play it with their friends at the same time?
Now you're talking about Last of Us.
If you are on,
you're talking about Last of Us?
Yeah. Right. If you're being honest in your message, which you're not, then give a discount to those that want to upgrade. The only person, I'm just saying that's a personal feeling. That's Now, GameStop is giving you $25 for The Last of Us on PS3 when you upgrade to the PlayStation 4 version, which is great. That's the kind of thing I would expect Sony to be able to do, or
how would they
try
do it?
to do for everybody.
I brought this up on the forum, and I think the reason they don't do it is simple logistics. The undertaking it would involve to do a simple, stupid discount for a small percentage of people who would upgrade is astronomical. They would have to get every retailer involved who sold the game. They would have to figure out a way to differentiate the digital unit sold versus the, digital they could do because they can look at your account and say, hey, you bought it digitally, it's easy to give you the upgrade price. Now, if you bought it retail, how the hell are you going to do that? Are you going to say, oh, you have to go to GameStop to do it? Or you have to go, they
so
can create partners.
Why did Microsoft do it with Halo?
What are you talking about?
They did it with Halo Spartan Assault. You got a discount if you bought it on the PC.
Yeah, because that's all digital.
Not.
If it's
but
the only way you offer it is digital, then it's easy to track. They never offered Spartan Assault as a standalone retail copy. That's the difference. Because you had to register, you had to buy it through your Microsoft account. Therefore, it's all trackable by Microsoft.
Okay.
That's why I think they do it. Because I think if you're not going to see, just like Tomb Raider, how would they have done it? They would have had to get everyone involved. All the WalMarts or whatever.
That barcode on the back? They print those.
Doesn't matter. They still have to get retailers involved. So they're basically saying that, every game you get traded in, we're going to give you a rebate or it would be a pain in the ass, and I don't fault them for not doing it. So, and if they did it for just digital users, I think the retail people would be pissed. And they don't want to go down that route the same way Microsoft got ridiculed for going the digital DRM route. So, they could come out and say, hey, if you bought it digitally, we can give you a discount because we can track it. Now, if I bought a retail and I wanted to upgrade, I'd be pissed. So, I don't know. That's just.
I'm just saying that there could possibly be a way. That's all.
I was just wondering, just curious, what kind of enhancements does The Last of Us Remastered have? Is it just better textures, or is there any new tech being implemented?
From what they said, it's the same engine. They're porting it up. Basically, they retextured some of the weaker stuff. If you put them side by side, you would notice a difference, but other than that, you're going from whatever resolution on the PS3. I'm not 100% sure what it was, but they're putting it up to 1080p. Yeah, somewhere around there. Probably sub 720 as a lot of the PlayStation 3 and Xbox games were. But anyway, so they're putting it up to full 1080p, 30 frames per second.
No, 60 is what they said.
Is it? Oh.
Yep.
But
what was that average?
It's 60, but you can lock it at 30 for some godforsaken
I'll talk about that in a second.
So.
What were you going to say, average?
Well,
did they fix the AI?
Probably not.
Fuck no.
No, probably not.
No,
Okay.
it's a complete
There's no
port.
reason to buy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never thought the AI was that bad.
The AI is stupid.
It is a little stupid.
You didn't watch the video, so you didn't play it the way I played it.
Yeah, I played like 3/4 of the game, and it was long enough to recognize that some of the AI was a little sketchy.
Right. There was no actual enhancements to the physical part of the game, like no scripting, no rewriting, none of that. It was all texture. Okay. Now, they did change one thing which pissed me off when I watched somebody play it. Personally, it didn't affect me because I didn't play it, but before, on the PS3 version, your bumpers were your aim and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You have triggers built into that controller for a goddamn reason, and that's to aim and to shoot. But they decided it was bumpers, and you couldn't change that. It had to be the bumpers.
On the PS4 version?
On the PS3 version. Now they have...
PS3 was triggers.
It was bumpers.
No, you hit with L2 and R2.
Oh, MW just got owned.
I don't remember.
You aimed with L2, you fired with R2.
In MW's defense, most of the shooting mechanics on PS3 were the bumpers. Like there were L1 and R1 because nobody liked to use the
shitty
those convex whatever. Yeah.
Maybe it was another game I'm putting my rage into, so I apologize and I'm wrong. My bad.
It's all good. Well, you never know. He might still be right, and these guys could be wrong. I can't even back you up.
The triggers do suck, so that's all. It doesn't really matter. Yep. They still suck.
You touched on something that I think is worth bringing up quickly. More resolution stuff that we're gonna make Average fall asleep on. Although Average might have an opinion on this, and because it's kind of a shady thing that I think they're trying to pull over on people. You said that they're giving you an option to lock it at 30. Now, I know they're saying it's a preference thing. Let's be real. Anyone who has the option to play a game at a steady 60 frame per second will never fucking ever choose to have it locked at 30. The only time that you would ever want to lock a game at 30, purposely, is if the 60 FPS wasn't stable.
Yep, I was about to say if you can't monitor that or maintain that 60.
Yep. So I think
I have to play devil's advocate on that. I have to play devil's advocate because of the fact that Sony's so big on the cinematic experience. The fact like a 30 frame per second game is going to look like it's going to have more of that like blurriness, I guess, so that motion blur than 60 frames would. So I think you could argue that maybe some people just want to have something that's closer to a film experience.
Yeah.
Rather than like a game experience.
I would believe you if a dev had come out and actually said something even remotely close to that. And none of them have said that. All they say is, we're giving you the option. If they had come out with valid reasons of why someone would ever want to play it at 30 like you just did, I'd be more inclined to believe them. And they keep saying, it plays just as good as any other game at 60 FPS, if not better. I shouldn't say no one, because you just gave a reason. I would say 99% of people will want to play it at a slightly higher resolution or higher frame rate if it's stable.
I'll give you a perfect example. Tomb Raider, when it was released on PC, PS3, and Xbox 360, was 30 frames a second. When the game was released on PC, Xbox, and PS3, the developer said this is a cinematic experience. It does not need to be 60 frames per second. 30 frames per second is fine for this game. When it was released on the PS4 and Xbox One, it was 30 frames a second. They tried, or whatever the hell you want to call it, to make it 60, but it didn't work because it did not work for the game. All games, I will repeat this until I die, all games do not need to be 60 frames per second. There is no reason for a game that does not require twitch reactions or sense of speed like a racing game, or games that suffer from input lag like fighting games to be 60 frames per second. It does not make any sense. There's no reason that I need to play Dead Rising 3 in 60 frames per second. It does nothing for the game.
I agree with you 100% that it doesn't need to be. But if you're going to do it, if they do it right and they do it stable, it's fine.
Yeah.
The problem with
and that's
the definitive edition, it wasn't a stable 60 FPS on PS4. It wasn't. I remember watching videos that were in, full, the Digital Foundry videos and stuff. It looked off because it was juddery. It had a little bit of that judder effect when your frames aren't, stable. It didn't look right.
Yeah.
So why even try? So I really hope, maybe they are giving you the option just because of the reasons you guys are giving. But if it comes out and it's not a stable 60 for damn near the entire game, someone better call them on their bullshit because, that's not gonna fly. So
not to interrupt you too, but I'm just gonna take my comment back. Yeah, it's L1R1.
there you go. So MW was right.
I just didn't notice. I don't know. I had no trouble with it.
It was like that. I mean, like I think as a lot of PS3 owners know, like they use L1 and R1 because those triggers were so shitty. Like every dev used those bumpers.
I had no issues with. I just don't remember having any issues with the aim and shoot. So I thought it was R2.
It should always be the triggers, unless you're a Japanese developer and you don't know what the hell you're doing with those things. Which at this point I don't understand you people, or you're Sony. That's the only people that still use the bumpers for aim and shoot.
Well, having actually played the game, I gotta disagree because the controls worked fine. I don't know.
It's just a preference thing.
And it's like I said, it's a preference. It's just me, but that agitates the crap out of me. That's just me. Some people might agree. Some people might think I'm dumb, but that's just how I feel.
I want to go back.
I don't want to push it on anybody.
I want to go back to Rockstar and Max Payne 3 real quick to give Chanogram some kudos here, because Channing's actually, he's saying that like it came out at a really bad time, and I think that's exactly why they're justifying re-releasing this game, is because they know that they made a good game. It came out at a really shitty time, and a lot of people didn't get it, you know. And it's a game it's like critically good. It's a legitimately good game, so why not? I mean, I don't know what price it's going to be at, but why not re-release it, you know, for a new.
Yeah.
While there's nothing else out, pretty much, you know. I don't know when it's coming out, but.
Probably this year,
Maybe it'll come
unfortunately.
out this summer.
They'll make the same mistake and
As
release
far
it.
as the,
They might make the same mistake, yeah.
What's up, Average?
as long as they don't release it in October this year, like every
October
other
7th.
idiot is releasing games. Oh my god. Anyway, I don't have a problem with the remasters or the re-releases, so to speak, when it's a game that, like a Max Payne, like Metro, because I don't think enough people enjoyed the Metro games. They're very good games. Not enough people may have enjoyed them, and then you remaster them, you put them on, a newer console. It gets some people into it. But when you start going back 10 years and trying to re-release everything just for the sake of, I got a new console and I want people to buy, it's almost like shovelware.
Yep.
And at that point, if you don't have an Xbox 360 or a PS2 or a PS1 or a PS3, then you just don't get to play that game.
Yep.
Like, you do have to cut it off at some point, or you never will get. You won't get your Divisions. You won't get Evolve. You won't get those types of games that are coming out because they're so focused on making Crash Bandicoot X to the 9th Infinity remastered and all this other bullshit. So.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, if it gets too old, you might as well just reboot it if you really want to make it.
Yeah.
Don't re-release like a 20-year-old game.
Yeah, give it the Halo treatment. If you're gonna do an old game, do it right. Don't just port it. Do like what Halo did? Give you really good value. There's a difference between a complete cash grab
Gotta work.
and doing what Halo's doing, which is actually investing money into it too. They're not just doing a quick, simple port. They're actually giving you quite a bit of extra stuff and value, and they're giving you a whole new freaking interface to play all 4 games on the same disc. I mean, that's pretty cool. So.
And a movie.
Yeah, and the movie.
It's just that thing's gonna sell like hotcakes. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see because Halo 4 sold well. It sold better than 98% of every other game out there, but it didn't sell as well as other Halos had, I believe. At least not as quickly, if nothing else. So it'll be really interesting to see if Master Chief Collection sparks that interest back in the Halo community again, to see if it sells like crazy, and then to see if it brings up the
Guilty Sparks. Okay, I'll stop. I just had to say it. Sorry, had to say it.
Nice. I don't even know where to go.
Let's move on. let's just move on.
You brought up controller mapping. You were talking about this. I didn't want to interrupt you. The fact that you can't map your damn buttons anymore. Oh, hang on 1 second. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Good night.
Good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Pam is going to bed.
You love them kids.
All right. Yeah, the mapping of controllers. I don't know why the game companies don't give you the ability to map controllers correctly anymore. They'll give you a couple options at best. Warframe is a great example of how to do it right, and that's give me the full freaking control of how I want to map my buttons. I can literally, there's options that you can map buttons to that aren't even originally mapped. Like there's other options you can put in there. You can map pretty much every button to whatever you want it to do. And you used to be able to do that with a lot of games, way back. Not necessarily SNES days, but you know what I mean. Like with early Xbox and PS2 days, you could do a lot of mapping of buttons and make it do what you want it to do. And how has that feature gone away? Like I just don't understand that. With newer tech and everything, it should be easier for devs to allow us to make the controller do exactly how we want it to, function the way we want it to in a game. Yeah, it doesn't. Warframe is the first game in a long time that I've been able to fully customize my controller scheme and not pick from a preset.
Yeah.
What's that?
Killer Instinct is probably one of the only ones I have right now that really lets you do that, and it's a fighting game,
Yeah.
so of course you're gonna get
Yeah.
that option in a
I
fighting
think
game.
Yeah, I
fighting
think most
games are
fighting
the
games.
that's
Yeah,
the
fighting
exception
games
to
you
the
can-
rule probably.
yeah.
Fighting games that kind of have to,
Yeah.
or there'd be like a massive riot from they wouldn't buy
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
not being able to
Exactly.
use it. So, but here's someone talking to their Xbox in the background. Um,
My wife.
yeah. And she only said it once though, so that's a good sign.
She's like, turn on, damn it.
My stuff's calibrated to work. I don't know about the rest of y'all.
So
Hello, Xbox.
yeah, that was a little side piece. You just made me think about that and how I enjoyed actually being able to get feedback from some people that I was playing with on how to map my Warframe controller to make it as functional as possible. So, I don't have any other
Yeah,
news topics.
I definitely do miss that. That's something that needs to come back.
Yeah. I don't have any other news topics. I want to touch on one of these topics to try and knock one off our list. Let's do the pre-ordering games topic. This was relevant. It brought it to our attention. It's always relevant to some degree. we did not talk about this last week, right? MW?
I don't remember.
I don't think we did.
Take that as a
Carnal,
no.
you were here
Was
last
I
week.
there?
No, you weren't here. I don't think we did. So if we did,
No,
I'll completely cut it out.
was me, you, and Landshark because everyone else
It was gone or couldn't make it yet.
whined out on us.
So yeah, I don't think we did because I think we ended it early. I don't think we talked about any other stuff. So I want to hit one of these. We'll do pre-ordering games, and that's MW posted an article on the forums a few weeks ago with a guy just basically ripping the pre-order business, so to speak, saying that it's really not good for anyone except the publisher. You know, whoever's putting the game out, basically, not even necessarily the developer, but the publisher. You know, and all it lets them do is thump their chest at company meetings saying, hey, we've got this many things. It's great for investors to see, I guess, that you're pre-ordering this many games. Otherwise, it doesn't do any good to anyone. I wrote a rebuttal to that, basically saying, I don't mind pre-ordering games. You don't have to pre-order. There's nothing in today's world. You don't have to pre-order a game unless you want a really limited edition of some sort, like the Ghost Edition for Destiny. If you just want a basic copy of a game, you don't have to pre-order it. You can walk in the day it comes out and find a copy. It's not like the old days where they're going to be sold out because they didn't ship enough of them. It doesn't happen anymore. When was the last time that someone didn't have a game in stock that they wanted? The day before, or the day on release. It just doesn't happen.
It's very rare, but it does occasionally happen.
Yeah, only
Because
around Christmas.
Yeah, closer to Christmas, people are. Not only are a lot of games coming out, but there are certain games that are held as kind of like Madden. Madden and NCAA, I think it's NCAA. They only ship a certain amount. Once those are sold, that's it. They're not printing them anymore. You can either find it used or you do not find it. I know this to be true. When I worked at GameStop, we had guys coming in asking for, a week later maybe even asking for Madden or NCAA, and we're like, should have pre-ordered it, bye.
Yeah, I think that's changed a lot in the last
you
few
might
so.
go to Walmart. You might go to Walmart and find it, but usually they didn't have it anymore. No one did.
So, not to say that it never happens. That's not what I want to say. I think it's rare these days where if you really want a game that
it should be rare.
you can usually find it in the first store or two that you can go to. Not to say that's always the case, because there's always like hidden gems that maybe didn't pre-order, but because of word of mouth and great reviews, maybe the demand was a little higher. But that's part of where pre-orders are great for everyone, because yes, it allows them to say, hey, we've got this many pre-orders. That also ensures that store is going to get at least that many copies, and then they base the number of extra copies they get on their number of pre-orders. So if a store has 100 pre-orders and another store has 20 pre-orders, the one who has 100 pre-orders is probably going to get a few more extra copies than the one who had 20 pre-orders, because they know that the demand is higher at that store. So there's lots of ways that it actually benefits both retailers, publishers, and gamers. It's good. And
the last time I checked, it was the publishers that paid the developers and everybody else. So if they're pumping their chest saying we got this many pre-orders, that means that they're putting money into that development team, which means they can make more games, which isn't bad for anyone. So Why is it bad that they're pumping their chest?
It's an
Video
interest.
games are a business. Like, I don't know why people fail to realize it's a business. They have to make money at the end of the day, just like every other business.
Well, the way this guy was looking at it, and I agree with a little bit of the points, and I disagree with a little bit of it, is they're basically holding your money hostage.
Can I?
They need to do it, though.
I want to chime in on that real quick, and I'll let you finish. Very few companies, at least in the U.S., and I know it's different elsewhere in the world sometimes, very few companies require much at all on down payment. And it's usually transferable and or refundable from damn near every retailer. So keep that in
Yes,
mind.
he did, Dom.
What?
Very, very, very first example I'll give you. To get into the Destiny beta,
I'm going to let you
pre-order
finish.
Destiny, paid $0.
Yeah.
Amazon.com. Amazon does not charge you until the game ships. And you can cancel
Right,
it. So I
right.
can go on there and cancel, and I still get the Destiny beta, so he didn't do good research. Go ahead.
Yeah, continue MW though on what his points were.
I think he was going more for the actual physical retailers like GameStop, because a lot of his complaints were about the money. So, well, you can't put in Amazon on that one, and the fact that you had to drive to that location to cancel that pre-order. So, he's
Well,
definitely talking about a physical retailer of some sort.
Who requires them
But
to
even
to
at
drive,
GameStop.
though? I can call and cancel.
Yeah, even at GameStop, I can go online right now and pre-order 15 games and not put a dime down. He did not do good research. That's my problem with people that write articles and don't do research. It's an opinion piece. Stop writing it as, you know what I mean? Like you're trying to inform someone, because you're not informing anyone with wrong information.
Right.
Uh,
But I think he was definitely a little bit more negative than he could have been, sure. But he had some valid points. Like, he's looking at the slippery slope scenario, basically. Is maybe Amazon starts requiring you to pay that $5. Maybe GameStop makes you start paying that $5 online, and that charges your credit card instantly. Not a huge deal. Not for a lot of people, but what if they start making you pay that full price?
Then don't pre-order.
He was right, but he was looking at it as a slippery slope scenario, and there are just things in there that you read the article, whether you agree with it or not, and it just kind of makes you think. He didn't say no one should ever pre-order. I mean, he did specifically put in that article, if you want to pre-order, if you want that bonus, if you want that content, and if it's valid enough for you, by all means go right ahead and do it. But don't pre-order everything just because you're afraid that they're not going to have that game. That doesn't happen anymore, like Chano said. Or don't let that GameStop manager, don't let that game manager, for those in the UK, don't let those people bully you into games that you weren't going to get in the first place. I mean, that is a tactic that Aiming Wrong has down to a T. That man could sell sand to a camel. Like, what the hell? He's good at his job.
I don't know.
But this guy, when he wrote the article, was just worried that, it's going to get worse. It's going to be content that we're never going to see. Like GameStop's doing right now. They're starting to invest millions of dollars into making DLC just for GameStop. Like, they're going to start paying publishers to make GameStop content. Are you kidding me?
That I'm not a big fan of, but I don't think that's going to be the norm, and I don't think a lot of developers will. It's going to cost like GameStop a shitload of money, and it better be some game-changing shit, or I'm still not going to pre-order it there if I don't normally pre-order it there. Like, the people who pre-order at GameStop are going to keep pre-ordering at GameStop. Most people don't look at the pre-order bonuses and then make their determination of where they want to pre-order it. Not to say there isn't people like that. Some do, and that's fine, because sometimes people are collectors and that kind of stuff. I get that. But most people will pre-order wherever they normally pre-order at because that's what they're used to. It works for them. So.
Pretty much. I pre-order because I want my copies at midnight. I don't want to go in there at 10 o'clock in the morning or whatever the hell the case may be. So whatever the incentive, maybe my incentive is having the game at 12:01.
And that
That's
that
nice.
might change with pre-downloading and all this digital content.
Yeah, we'll have it
You know?
at 12.
Well, that
30
depends,
seconds.
because if they do it the same way they did Titanfall, then I won't. I probably still won't
No. What I mean is
preload
digital
or.
preload.
Yeah, I know, but they wouldn't
Like
if you waited
downloading and then
Yeah,
unlock
but
it.
remember, if you were on the East Coast, they didn't unlock it until 3
Pacific
o'clock
time.
West Coast time. I'd rather have a digital copy, so
I
that I
think
can
if they
play it when
do,
I want to.
I think that would eventually change. That's not like that's something that's hard to really change. You just put in what time code you're in.
Well, I think they're worried about, and this is probably unnecessarily worried about people cheating the system with different region gamer tags. Like,
But
do you
who
really care
cares?
if someone
Like,
from the
it's,
U.S. is playing
yeah.
8 hours early? I mean, is it really that big of a deal?
Who
It's
cares?
really not.
Yeah.
You got the
It's
sale.
it's a huge deal. You don't understand. You don't.
Yeah. Apparently, it's a big deal to someone because someone's not letting them
The
play.
amount
So.
of favor they would win over by just ignoring that
It
definitely outweighs.
it's if anybody doesn't understand the reason they do that. Digital's always behind the time and the laws, but basically it's an it's a competition law. Basically, one store cannot sell a copy of an item before another store. That's why the games come out a specific date. It's competence. Frick, I don't even know the word. But basically, it's to help out the smaller stores that might not get as big a stock versus somebody like GameStop who can. They have items. They have those games sitting underneath their counter for a week before you go in and are allowed to pick it up. If you didn't know, every single one of those games come in at least a week early, and they're sitting there and they're looking at them and touching them, possibly licking them, depending on the game. I'm just saying, I've licked a couple games.
And if you're color, you're rubbing. I'm not gonna go there.
He probably did. I ain't gonna lie.
So
It was the one he took home.
I want to point out, we were talking about pre-orders with, I think it was Rippenhara from Australia, was in a party with us, and he brought up, like, the amount it takes for him to pre-order from their normal game stores in Australia is a lot more. Like, I think he said, like, games in general cost more in Australia. Like, for their dollars, it costs, I think he said, like, around, what do you say, like $90, basically? Almost
Right.
$100
Yeah,
of Australian dollars, and it's more than that. It's more than 60 in U.S. dollars, I believe, if I remember correctly. I have to look at the conversion rate to be exact, but they're a little more expensive in Australia to begin with, and they require. I think he was saying he has to put something like $30 to $40 down on a game just to pre-order it. That's a different story.
Whew.
Now, if they start requiring $5 is one thing. If they start requiring me to pay half of it or all of it up front, I will not pre-order anymore. Period. It doesn't matter if even if the game I know I'm going to buy, I still won't do it. I refuse to pay that much money early on before something's actually out and, before I see enough of it. Unless, even if it's easily transferable or refundable at that price, it's just too much. Which is also why I'll never pre-order, like, the fact that, like, I look on my PS4 and it's like, hey, you can pre-order all these games that are coming out in 2015. It's like, why the fuck would I want to give Sony $60 now for a game that's probably going to be pushed back to 2016? Like, so they can let the money sit in their bank and earn interest on it? Yeah, fuck that. It can sit in my bank and earn interest on it, and then I'll give it to you when the game's closer to launch.
I usually pre-order like the day before it comes out.
Yeah, well, there's no sense to do it any other way,
Yeah.
Interesting fact about I went into GameStop because Aiming Wrong works in there, and I was in there for like 2 hours just hanging out with the guys talking. Interesting fact, both the Ghost editions sold out within 24 hours, 2 days of Destiny. The other interesting thing is, so are both of the limited editions. They're gone.
Yeah.
You can only get the regular editions now, and they are not giving out any more codes. They are completely sold out.
Yeah.
Game also tweeted that they have, at least as of yesterday, I think the tweet was, they have Ghost editions for the PlayStation 4. Xbox One was gone in 24 hours too.
Yeah.
So, good luck getting a Ghost edition or a limited edition at this point. Hope you're not waiting for the beta to decide.
Nice.
It's not like they can't make more.
It's not about making more. At this point, they do manufacturing limits with whoever they have manufacturing them.
The Ghost,
and they're already set.
Yeah,
You're not getting any
the
more.
Ghost Edition definitely isn't going to probably increase. There's a chance they'll increase to limited, and the only reason I think they might do the limited is because it lets them basically sell their DLC at the time of purchase really easily.
Sure.
And it's not,
right.
there's not the statue. It's just a tin case basically. So if you didn't get a Ghost Edition now, you're probably not going to get one if you want one. You missed your opportunity. If you didn't order your limited edition, there's still a slight chance that Amazon, like some of the bigger retailers specifically, like Amazon, maybe GameStop, will get some extra copies. But don't hold your breath. I mean, I give it 50-50 at best.
Now, as I know when I worked in retailer, if you're willing to wait a day, probably two. I guarantee you'll find that limited edition, whatever the heck it is. I don't care when it was sold out. Guarantee not everyone comes in and picks up their big $200. This one's $150, but usually $200 giant pre-order, where they're $500 console with the game and the statue and all the other stuff. So if you're patient and you can wait a day or two, you'll find that Ghost Edition or whatever you want. So patience is a virtue.
Yeah. The limited, I just checked on
get it.
Amazon. The limited editions, not the Ghost, but the limited editions are also sold out on Amazon for both systems. So,
Dang.
Yep. So
That game's going to be killing it.
Yeah, if anyone didn't think this game was going to sell a few copies, unless half the people don't follow through on their pre-order, you're going to be eating crow. So this game's going to sell, and I hope it deserves it. Everything I've seen so far is great, so I hope it just keeps getting better as they open up more and more, and we get the game. So I don't have a whole lot else on the pre-order stuff. I just kind of wanted to talk about it because it is a relevant issue because, like you said, it is a slope. I really hope it doesn't get to like where Australia is, where we have to pay a lot more to pre-order.
Sure.
I don't know if Amazon's way of doing it is the answer, partially because it allows people to take advantage of it for Destiny codes, for example. I mean, I was able to do it twice before they stopped giving me beta codes.
Whoops.
Yeah. But, I'm really surprised Amazon still doesn't require at least a little bit of a down payment, like a $5 thing, just so they can. The problem with doing it free is it's even for $5. Most people, if they're on the fence, will just keep it for now. If it's free, I'll pre-order it, cancel it, pre-order it, cancel it. I'll do it like 3 times before I finally make my decision on Amazon.
Here's why GameStop does it, because they physically have to take that disc and they have to ship it to that store. Now, if a ton of people pre-order and don't come in and pick it up, now they're sitting there left holding the bag, and now they have to ship it somewhere else that maybe they're selling. So it's a commitment to come in and pick up your games. With Amazon, if you don't pick up your game, it's just going to sit there in the same damn warehouse as every other game.
Yeah.
They don't have to move it nowhere.
At the same time, like I said, I can go to GameStop's website right now, put 10 games in my cart, select ship to store instead of ship to me, and they will all be pre-ordered with no money down. It's the same thing. You can go do it right now.
Yep.
Right.
Go to GameStop.com, put any game in your cart, and check out, and it will charge you nothing.
Sure. And they do that option because they have to compete virtually online with Amazon.
You know what? It's all going to be a moot point.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead, Average.
I was going to say, here's the thing. Take a look at a game. See if you like it. If you're going to buy it, buy it. Paying $59.99 for it now is not going to change paying $59.99 for it in October. If you know that you want Alien Isolation, paying $59.99 for it right now on July 21st is not going to make a difference between now and October 7th. If you don't think you want it, don't pre-order it. That slippery slope he's talking about is only going to get slippery when people don't know how to use their fucking brains. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And look, if you don't know how to use your brain, then that's your issue, not mine.
What's your brain?
So
But he said,
go ahead. Mine's not really serious. So go ahead.
but he's just saying, kind of keep your ears open. He's not saying don't. He's just saying keep your eyes open. Don't let them do to you what Australia's getting done to it right now. As long as that never happens, I hope it goes closer to what Amazon's doing, like Chano said. As long as they don't try to screw us over. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, consumers always screaming that they want more choice. When you get more choice as a consumer, you also get more stipulations. So you're getting what you asked for. Just that's what's going to happen as long as consumers continue to keep demanding all of this choice. You're going to get more stipulations on top of that choice.
So
Sure.
none of this will matter in 10 years when we all pre-order it from Amazon and we go sit on our doorstep at midnight for the drone to drop it in our hands. I'm just saying. That'll be a
in
great
10
day.
years?
I still
No,
want
in 10
digital
years, it's going to be all digital.
Fuck digital. Unless my internet speed in
I
the
know.
next 10 years triples, no thanks. So.
Why wouldn't it?
If
It already has.
In the last 10 years? Not really.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
Some of the theoreticals might
Really?
have, but not the actual.
Yeah, the actual as opposed to the theoretical? No, no way.
In 10 years, if Google ain't next to my damn house, I swear to God, I'm moving to where it is.
We'll see if Google Fiber ever actually
Time
expands.
Warner, I'm out.
I think Google Fiber is just a proof of concept that they're trying to push other people to, do better.
Hey,
But
if Google wants to spend their money pushing other people to do a better job that they're actually supposed to do without Google pushing them, frickin' slow clap for Google. I like them.
the thing that really pisses me off is when I follow like some of the European gamers and podcasters from, just their stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I got my new internet. It's a stable 150, and like 25 up." I'm like,
Right.
"Yeah, fuck you." I'm sitting here with my,
Right.
my 20 down, 1 up DSL. The fastest I can get here is a 50 down, 5 up, where I live, and I live right
But-
next to frickin' Minneapolis. It's one of the biggest cities in the damn country. Really?
But-
I
But
can't
what
get
they don't tell you
faster
is
internet.
every single one of those internet providers have a data cap, so you're going to get up to 10, 25 gigs, and then
No, all the
no
ones
more
I've seen,
fast
they're
internet
good.
for you.
All the ones I've seen are normal. I mean, they might have a data cap, but it's not any different than what it might be here, like 300 to 400 gigs or 500 gigs a month. Like, I've never heard anyone that I follow say that they've ever hit a data cap, and they download games and stuff all the time. And it's the
Sweet.
price-wise, like, people have asked them, because people like me
Well,
in the
then
US are
screw
jealous
you,
as hell,
UK.
and they're like, how much do you pay? And they say, like, X amount of euros. And I'm like, that's only like $10 more a month than what I pay. And it makes
Yep.
me hate things. It's like,
But you also got to understand. I mean, I'm not making any excuses for the ISPs. They're all a bunch of lazy, greedy assholes. But America is a very large country.
yes,
It is hard to run all those lines to, and I realize you're close to a big town, but anti-competition.
yeah. I would
It's
understand
not hard.
if
I
people
know
in the
it's
cities
not
had
hard.
great,
It's just,
I don't know, if people in the cities had amazing connections, but they were still slow to get it out to the, even suburbs and stuff like that. But that's not the case. Even like in downtown Minneapolis, if you want a really fast like business type of connection, which is 150 to 300, that's residential in the most places in Europe. If you want that in Minneapolis, you're paying out the ass. And that's in a downtown of one of the biggest cities in the country, like I said. Like, I guarantee it's the same in other big cities. Like, you might be able to get 100.
Yep.
And that's the high-end one. It's probably going to cost you $90 a month. So, it's ridiculous. The ISPs in the U.S. are a fucking joke.
Yeah.
the one thing I've got to say is no one needs 150.
I do.
No one maybe needs.
No, you don't. You want to
Yeah, I do.
you want to download a Blu-ray in 5 minutes? I mean, you
Yes,
might
I do,
want it.
actually.
You might want it. I mean, and I understand that one because I have the highest Time Warner you can get. I got the 50,
Right.
and I understand that one. But there ain't no need.
Oh yeah, there is. Do you know how many? Well, I have two Xbox Ones. I have three PS3s, three Xbox 360s. I have Apple TVs all over. I have 4 rooms with 4 TVs, and each room has 4 internet devices.
Yep.
I don't want any slowdowns on my network because I pay for it.
Yep.
It's not a utility. It's not something that is coming in that they need to regulate. I want it. I pay for it. Therefore, I should be able to get the speed I
Yeah.
need.
Here's the other reason we need it.
So be.
HD video content.
I
It's absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous that the reason we can't stream full 1080p through Netflix and other places is because they can't, because the ISPs can't fucking do it.
Yeah.
If everyone had, or the most people had a better connection, maybe the standard was 50. That was the minimum that you could basically get. You could stream a higher quality video because they could offer it. Right now, even if you have a high-end thing, they don't even offer it because it's not. What's the point of offering the full 1080p stream if only 1% of the people can get it? It's not worth it as a business. But if everyone could do it, we'd all be happier. You know, watching.
And there was a demand for it.
Yeah. If I'm watching on a
But at the
70-inch
same
TV
time,
and it
you've
looks
got to
fine.
understand that costs them more to stream that higher quality.
Correct.
They have, overall costs. I think they're the number one most used thing on the internet. But
I don't know if
maybe
it really
YouTube
costs them
costs
anymore,
them.
other
I
than
don't know.
server. You know what I mean, like server space. But my guess is they have it in basically 1080p on their systems, and it basically downgrades it. Just like when you
Sure.
stream, how it buffers it out slowly. You know, it'll look like crap at first, and it slowly just gets better and better until it hits your optimal stream capacity. My guess is if they really wanted to, they could stream it even higher. You know, well, they'll call it 1080p, but it's not. I mean, we all know it's compressed 1080p. Obviously, we can't stream 1080p through a 20 meg line. It's not happening. So, real 1080p, I should say. But don't get me wrong, it looks good on a
with
big
the right
TV.
compression,
Yeah.
you absolutely could. Now, here's the one thing. I was watching a YouTube video, got real popular this week. Comcast is just lowering the quality down to almost terrible. I think 540p on. No, wait, I'm sorry. It was Verizon FiOS. Yeah, this guy had I think 50 meg connection for the Verizon FiOS. He couldn't even get 540p.
Yeah.
Turns out he was easily able to rerouting or whatever his ISP, so it didn't look like he was coming through Verizon.
Yeah.
1080p in seconds, loaded right up.
Yeah, there's your net neutrality bullshit that's in play. So they haven't signed a deal with FiOS. Netflix set a bad precedent when they signed that deal with was it Xfinity they signed the deal with? Or was it Time Warner? One of those two.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they set that precedent.
Yeah,
They
I know
might
it
have
wasn't
had
Time
to.
Warner.
You know, they probably had to at the time because they couldn't wait. But this net neutrality thing is going to get worse before it gets better. And right now, no one cares because
Yep.
it's not affecting enough people. As soon as it starts affecting people, and people are getting bigger TVs and stuff, as they get cheaper, people are going to start noticing a decrease in their quality of Netflix streaming on their 50 and 60-inch TVs. Because once you hit a certain point of compression, it looks like garbage on a big TV.
Oh yeah.
But
Now, I will say my grandparents have a 3 meg connection, which is whatever, right? Looks great on their television. I don't know now that's DSL and there's no bandwidth throttling on that, so but it looks good. I'm very impressed.
yeah, they do wonders with. And Netflix does a great job with their compression. I will say that. Even on slower internets, you're technically going to get a pretty good picture. It just could always be better.
As long as you're not being throttled. Yeah.
So, well, we got way off topic. Holy crap! I don't even remember what the hell the last game thing you're talking about, pre-ordering, and somehow we got on ISPs.
Pre-order. Yeah.
All right. So we're coming back full circle. We're back on the pre-order. I don't think anyone else has any more to say on that, unless Cabin or Dom. You guys are kind of quiet on the whole pre-order thing. Do you have any last bits?
I thought of something like 30 minutes ago now.
I just have been staying out of it.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I'll go
I
back and
guess
forth
I guess the only thing I would say is just the slippery slope is like the kind of content that they want to put in, because it's like they want to give you value and a reason to pre-order things, like giving you like extra missions and stuff. But if it's drastically changing the game, then it's kind of hurting the perception of the developer, because it's like all the gamers that don't pre-order are gonna be like, what the heck? You know, did we just get a gimped, a gimped game, or a game that's not even complete? You know.
Yep.
So
Let's
that's
just
the only thing
Alien
I
Isolation.
would add. Yeah, but they did say they're gonna
It's
release
timed.
that later on.
Yeah, but that's what I think you're going to
Yeah.
see a lot of is a time thing. Now, if it starts not being timed, then it becomes an issue with me.
Yeah, that's an issue. Yeah.
Yep.
Then you look at the developers and you're kind of like, you guys sold your soul. You know, like
Yeah.
that's kind of bullshit. Like you can't even like, what the heck?
Yeah. So before we end the podcast, I want to ask, as long as Average isn't, falling asleep and has a couple minutes, if you do.
I'm good.
I want to ask you a few questions that we've all kind of answered. I think most of us have, but you haven't been around for a few weeks, so I want to give you a chance because I think you play more games than any of us do. So I think you might have some interesting answers. So first one, your favorite series. I don't believe you're here for that one. Just to recap, I said Halo. Dom said. Do you remember what you guys said? Without any reason, just what it was.
Character-wise?
No, your favorite series.
Series.
There was 2 or
Franchise
more
or
games in a
whatever?
series. Yep. Series/franchise.
What the fuck did I say?
All right. If you don't remember, that's fine. I thought you guys would just remember offhand.
Larry Suit probably.
God. All right.
I said Fallout.
You said
Remember,
what?
I said Fallout.
Oh, Fallout.
I said Fallout.
Pretty princess or something.
And yes, Carnal,
Did
the
you just
Kim
say Leisure
Kardashian.
Suit Larry?
Yeah, the Kim Kardashian game is not a franchise yet. It's only one game, so you can't say that.
Oh,
All right. Well, that's fine. Well, you guys, do you remember what yours was on W?
Nope.
All right. Well, you guys are really no
favorite
conviction
character.
in your favorite series. That should be on top of your head.
Remember,
I love them
Whoa.
all, dude. Are you kidding? Give them to me all.
Nice. That got a little
Anyway.
distorted there for a second.
Well,
All right. What's up, Average?
yeah,
Let's hear it.
Mine is Tomb Raider. Was the game that made me buy my PlayStation when it released. That and Resident Evil.
Resident Evil. So good.
Both of those. I mean, up until 6.
Yeah, 6 is garbage.
Resident Evil was doing okay, but I don't know what the hell happened there.
Well, it's just
but
like
Tomb Raider definitely
the experiences they gave you on PlayStation 1, Same thing with Tomb Raider. Like,
was. Yeah.
they were just really good for PlayStation 1. Like, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Nothing like it, man. Nothing like it.
Resident
At that
Evil
time,
6
anyway.
is like the opposite of the cherry on top. It's like someone took the cherry out and
Oh
put a
my
cat
God.
turd on the top of the cone.
I've never, I've been playing games for a long time, and I have never seen a game with so much lack of identity in my life. Like, it did not know what it was doing from the time it started to the time it ended.
Let's be honest. As soon as they announce the next Resident Evil on the next gen consoles, everyone's going to be paying attention.
Oh, yeah,
I will. I definitely will.
Everyone's going to be excited.
Yeah. There's
I
been
definitely will, but
Yeah.
as for a comparison, I don't know if any of you played Brink when it came out. I was excited for Brink when it came out, and it ended up being a mess. But at least it knew what it was trying to do. Resident Evil 6 did not know what it's like the 12th game in the damn series, and it did not know what it was trying to do, and was probably a worse game than Brink to me. Like, it was just bad.
yeah.
Interesting side note. The guys that made Resident Evil 4 and 5, they didn't make 6.
Yeah, that's
No,
obvious.
they didn't.
They were actually escorted out the door because they were taking too long, or there was a disagreement or something, and they brought in a whole bunch of new guys, and that's how we got 6.
Oh, you mean they want to take time and make a good
Yay!
game?
Right.
So say what you want about
That
4 and
didn't
5.
happen.
You may not have liked them, but they weren't bad games. You may just not have liked the
It was
style they had.
amazing.
But yeah, they were good games.
4 was my personal favorite, so
Yeah, never.
I know not everybody agrees, but on the GameCube, whoo, that was an experience, man.
Oh, yeah.
It was good on
Res-
GameCube.
yeah. I didn't even have a
That-
GameCube, and I bought that game so I could play it on someone else's GameCube. It was worth it. It was absolutely worth it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
wow.
It was amazing. Yeah.
A quick question to anybody else. Did anyone else buy a game that they did not own a system for?
No, I've never done it.
I bought Halo 3 for that.
I've I've purchased games before I actually had the system, knowing that I was getting the system. Like I sat on top of uh um oh my goodness, I can't even think of the names of the games right now, but it was like 3 or 4 games before um I actually purchased my GameCube because I didn't get it like the day it launched. But I had just 3 or 4 games just sitting there for when I knew it was coming
Tormenting you.
because I had to wait for it to get back in stock. Yeah, just tormenting me looking at the packages
I,
like.
I found a Game Boy cartridge once.
Nice.
Didn't have a Game Boy.
Uh,
I, even back in the day, I would do that. I purchased 1 or 2 games for systems on the Sega that I didn't own, and one for the Super, which I always planned on getting the system. It's just at that time I didn't, and I found the games for a great deal. And all my buddies, they were rich or they were lucky, got it for Christmas, and they had it. And I went over and played it and left the game there for them and told them it was a present, but I was allowed to play it every time I was over.
Now let's tell the real story of W. You bought a Sega cartridge, got home, and wouldn't fit in your Super Nintendo, and you got pissed.
No, I was a very smart child. I would never do anything like that.
all right.
You don't grow up gaming from Apple II on and be a dumb kid. That doesn't work out that good for you.
So,
Definition.
no, one more question for Average, and then we're gonna wrap the podcast. I warned you about this question, so hopefully you thought about it a little bit if you had any time. Your favorite character across gaming, for any reason. Like I think I mentioned, it could be just the design, the way it looks, the way the dialogue was written for that. Anything, going as far back as you want, even if it's 8-bit graphics for whatever reason. So, what is it?
Some of you may or may not remember this game. It was on the original PlayStation. And it's called Fear Effect. There was Fear Effect 1 and Fear Effect 2.
Heard of
The
them?
2 women.
Yep, played it. Beat them both.
Played it. Okay. The main character in that game, she was way ahead of her time, and she is still way ahead of her time. Just in the fact that they was dealing with.
Gay? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, not even. It's not even that.
I know.
She was a headstrong female lead. She dabbled in whatever homosexuality or whatever, but she was one like Lara Croft. As much as I like Tomb Raider, and back in that day, she was invincible. Like. That's why they had to reboot the series now. There was just too much invincibility to Lara Croft. She could do whatever she wanted to do. Nobody could fuck with her. And that's kind of unrealistic. In the Fear Effect game, that main character, she gave off more of a... She was a badass, but you could get to her type badass. And she had a bunch of one-liners to come back at you when she was in trouble or some shit like that. It was just, to me, at the time, with the way that the games were made, the games were good, the wholesale shading and shit. I just think that's one of my favorite characters. They have not done a female lead character that well in a very long time, since this last Tomb Raider, because the last Tomb Raider that they did, Lara Croft, they did an excellent job making her seem human. Like, that's the most human that I've seen Lara in a video game. But yeah, that would probably be my favorite character.
Okay. Speaking of
Well, that was educated.
old school female characters, I think I have this right, but if I'm wrong, let me know. Maya Bree. Do you know who that's from? I think it's
Maya.
I think it's Bree or Brea. Brea.
Oh, you're talking
Yeah.
about talking about Parasite Eve.
Yes.
Oh.
Also,
Love that.
speaking of a franchise that changed, Parasite
Yep.
Eve to Parasite Eve 2,
Ooh.
both were great games. I loved both of them. Vastly different games.
Yeah.
Birthday?
What's that?
And if you played the third one, the last one is called Third Birthday or something like that.
30
It's on
or
the
something.
PSP. Oh my God! So
Yeah, the third birthday.
you wouldn't even recognize it. You wouldn't even.
Oh, I loved
recognize it.
Parasite Eve on PlayStation.
Yeah.
They were great games.
God, Parasite
I
Eve.
still got it.
Man, the boss fight when you're up on the walkway in the hotel right after the shower scene in Parasite Eve 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Isn't that where it like tears through the middle of the? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, that game was amazing. I love that game. Makes me want to almost go back and play it, but I know I'm going to be disappointed because it's going to look like shit, and my, the graphics don't do it for me, but you know what I mean. Like your nostalgia is like, oh yeah, I remember that game, and then you just play it, and it's like, wait a
Your
minute.
nostalgia sharpens that image. It,
Yeah.
it puts it into perfection.
Yeah, and after playing Xbox
And
One,
that is not how that game is at
All right.
all.
yeah, right. But yeah, I didn't want to derail it. I just thought of another female character that I really enjoyed from back in that PS2. I believe that was PS1 era. Sorry. So.
PS1, yeah. They've been few and far between. I really wish. Like, I don't know if any of you had a chance to play Remember Me. It was an okay game, and they could have done a lot more with the main character in the game itself because it had promise. But I don't know if they ran out of money or just didn't care anymore when they were making it, and you can kind of tell it fell off. But I'd enjoy to see more female or just any kind of diverse characters with stronger, like the whole over macho Duke Nukem. Maybe that was your favorite series, MW. Duke Nukem.
No, just
Dude, that's what I said.
Yeah, I was thinking too. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
What the fuck
I
did I
was-
say? God damn it!
I was completely sick, and I tried to make a joke, and these mother- we're not fighting, and I get it. That's fine. But
took
dude,
it seriously. I ripped you.
oh, you ripped me apart. Yet you let Mortimus have Kratos? That uninspiring, bland as whatever. Fine.
No, I think
Anyway.
I don't think I was happy with this decision, but I know when you criticized him, I said you're not allowed to criticize him because you picked Duke Nukem. So
Exactly.
the rest of us
No one
criticize both of you.
backed me up a little bit, but I mean, I was dying, man. I was darn close to average sick. Like I felt like I was gonna die. Like right after the podcast ended, it just hit me like a brick. But no one gave me any kind of. No, it's fine. Let's just rip on Michael.
Hey, you didn't tell us you were sick till afterwards, so not that it probably would have changed.
I didn't know I was sick until I died. Come on.
Until you died, you're dead.
So
I'm
we
dead.
should end
I
the
got
podcast here. The podcast really ended like 40 minutes ago. We've just been rambling for like the last 50. So
Yeah.
which is fine. It's been good
Just
stuff.
like any other Xbox Live party.
So yeah, and it all stemmed off of one topic about pre-orders, which is hilarious to me. Yeah. So we'll end it here. No giveaway this week. By the way, no one even bothered to private message me last week with the code word. So.
I still have that Watch Dogs code, but.
We can give that away next
We don't
time
have to
if
do
you
it.
want. It's a PC game, right?
Yeah.
PC Steam code or something, or some sort of code.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do it. Kind of surprised that no one, not a single person claimed it after like 5 or 6 people 2 weeks ago sent me the code. So, but whatever.
Yeah, but real life money versus
Fair enough.
no.
But all right. Any last words? Words of wisdom? Words of warning? Whatever. Any sort of words? No. All right. Then in that case, we'll call it a night. Thanks for listening, and we will hopefully all see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Later.